There's a law of the universe that most of humanity has forgotten. The most pivotal moments don't arrive with a roar of thunder, they arrive with the silent, decisive click of a cosmic lock turning. July 7, 2025 is not just another date, it is an appointment, a moment of energetic reckoning that will draw a clean line between those who have been building their inner ark and those who have been sleeping on the shore. When the divine intelligence communicated, on July 7 the tide turns, this was not a piece of news for idle curiosity. It wasn't designed to spark panic or fantasy. It was a sacred memo, delivered only to those souls who have practiced the art of listening beneath the world's deafening noise. Your life is a constant barrage of signals. Signals from society telling you what to value, signals from your fears telling you where to hide, signals from your desires telling you what to possess. This external static is designed to do one thing: keep you from hearing the one signal that truly matters, the homing beacon of your own soul. So many are waiting for a miracle. They expect a sign from the heavens so loud it cannot be ignored, but the divine often works in the subtle frequencies. It speaks in the resonance you feel when you do something true. The signal before the tide turns is not a warning, it is an invitation, but only those who have calibrated their inner receiver, their spirit, their awareness, will understand the message being sent. A divine signal isn't processed by the ears, it's recognized by the soul. To tune in, you must first turn down the volume on your own static, your opinions, your justifications, your ego's endless demands. The reason the profound shift of July 7 will pass unnoticed by the majority is that they are too busy scanning the horizon for a wave, instead of feeling the current pulling at their feet. Understand this: when your mind is cluttered with answers, it cannot receive truth. When your heart is fixated on expectations, it will not recognize a genuine miracle. This is the secret of the great mystics, the masters, the visionaries. They train in inner quiet. They know that only a clear channel can receive a divine broadcast. There is a conditioning that must happen in stillness. Just as a deep-sea diver must acclimate to pressure before a descent, your spirit must acclimate to truth before a great awakening. Most people imagine transformation is a lightning strike. But true, soul-altering change, the kind that reforges your reality, begins long before the event itself. It begins the moment you start honoring that quiet inner knowing, the moment your choices begin to align with your conscience, the moment your focus shifts from acquiring to becoming, the moment you choose integrity over advantage, peace over drama, awareness over escape. These are not isolated good deeds, they are evidence that your entire being is beginning to harmonize with a higher frequency. And what is that frequency? It is the signal of your own destiny, a broadcast that says calibrate, strengthen, purify. It doesn't shout, because shouting is for convincing the resistant. A clear signal is for the receptive. When a master archer trains, they are not waiting for the crowd's cheer, they are training in quiet focus for a single moment of release that no one else can see. The same is true for your spiritual journey. You are being conditioned for a vibrational shift. This shift will not be on the front page of any newspaper. It will not ask for your belief. It will not negotiate. It will simply manifest. And when it does, it will not reward the loudest or the most popular. It will elevate the most resonant. Think of an opera singer who has spent a decade training their voice every single day in solitude. When she finally steps on stage and fills the hall with a perfect note, the audience calls it a gift. They don't see the 10,000 hours of silent, disciplined practice. The same is true for the soul. When July 7 arrives, the world will be divided, and many will wonder why some people seem to move with an unshakable calm and clarity, while others are swept away by waves of panic, anger, and despair. The reason is starkly simple: those who felt the current before the tide turned were already swimming with it. They didn't need a catastrophe to tell them to get ready. Their readiness was a way of life. The world demands proof before it will offer trust. But the path of the soul is not about waiting, it's about becoming. If you are constantly waiting for external validation, you will never become the source of your own truth. The divine does not send you a signal so you can analyze it. It sends a signal so you can embody it, act on it, and use it to burn away all that is not you, the false masks, the heavy burdens, the hollow ambitions. The signal before the tide turns is divine mercy. It is the chance to become seaworthy before the storm is visible to everyone. You do not need the sky to crack open to believe. You need only to feel the undeniable pull in your own spirit and have the courage to follow it. This is why inner quiet is the ultimate power, not because it's peaceful, but because it allows you to perceive what the reactive mind cannot. There are truths that only a still spirit can register. And so you must train yourself not in how persuasively you can argue, but in how deeply you can perceive. You must ask, when chaos erupts, do you join the frenzy or do you find your center? When fear whispers, do you obey it or do you observe it? When the herd stampedes, Do you run with them, or do you stand still and feel the ground? Those who have tuned into the signal understand that a masterful life is not about reacting, it is about responding. But you cannot respond from a place of wisdom if you have not first trained in the sanctuary of your own being. So many live in a state of constant reaction. Their triggers are their masters, their anxieties are their guides, their addictions are their gods, and when the real pressure comes, they will shatter. They will cry out, "Why was I not prepared for this?" But the truth is, the signal was always there, they were just tuned to a different station. Discipline is the practice of sharpening your perception. It is not self-flagellation, it is the path to clarity. The reason an athlete conditions their body daily is not because the championship is guaranteed, but because excellence is a state of being. If you wait until the world is in chaos to begin your spiritual work, you have waited far too long. Your conditioning begins right now in how you start your day, in the words you choose, in how you manage your energy, in the thoughts you refuse to entertain. These choices seem insignificant, but they are the very fibers that weave the fabric of your inner fortitude. And when the winds of change blow, only the structures built of truth will remain standing. The signal before the tide also tests your humility. Many believe they are prepared because they have accumulated spiritual knowledge, but knowledge without embodiment is the most subtle form of ego. You may be able to quote the masters, but do you live by their example? You may speak of light, but do you walk with love? The signal is not received by the intellect, it is received by the spirit, and the spirit can only hold a truth that it is humble enough to serve. You must surrender the deep need to be seen as right, the addiction to being praised, the desire to be special. All of these are forms of static that jam the divine frequency. When July 7 arrives, the energetic tide will reveal what has been hidden. But those who have trained their inner ear will not be caught off guard. They will not panic, they will simply take a deep breath and continue their path. Why? Because their direction is not dictated by external events but by an internal compass. Their stability doesn't come from knowing the future but from mastering the present. Their peace is not a result of having no problems but of being aligned with a purpose that is greater than any problem. And this is what the signal has always been pointing to: purpose. The universe does not call you to entertain you, it calls you to elevate you. But elevation requires that you release the ballast that is holding you down. So many are praying for a miracle while clutching the very things that prevent it. They want to be transformed but are unwilling to be uncomfortable. You cannot ascend while holding on to the anchors of your past. The signal is an invitation to let go of the grudge, the guilt, the victimhood, the story. Only then will you be light enough to rise with the tide. So listen not with your mind but with your being. See not with your eyes but with your awareness. Navigate not by sight but by resonance. If you feel that inner tremor, that quiet sense that a profound change is on the horizon, that something vast is about to be unveiled, do not dismiss it. Do not sedate it. Begin your training. Now, return to your center, return to your integrity, return to your truth. The signal before the tide is not something you search for, it is something you become. And those who become the signal will not be afraid of the tide. They will ride it as if it were a current leading them home, because they have already aligned with a far greater force, the force of the divine will. True readiness doesn't begin when the world confirms the danger, it begins when your soul perceives the shift. And what the distracted eye will never see, the trained spirit has already felt. There is a fundamental difference between reacting to reality and co-creating with it. A person living in reaction is always one step behind, perpetually scrambling for security, always shocked when the ground shifts. But a person living in alignment is never truly surprised. They may not know the specifics of what is to come, but they have already received the memo through their intuition, their inner knowing, that deep restlessness. That feeling you have, that sense that the world is holding its breath before a great change. That is not just your imagination, that is your attunement. That is your own spirit whispering, the time for practice is over, it's time to be. What occurs on July 7, 2025 is not a random event, it is a point of convergence. It is the culmination of energies, choices, and consequences that have been gathering momentum for decades. The world's reaction will be one of shock, but the wise know that this energetic accounting has been underway for a long time. The laws of the universe are never suspended. Every choice you've made, every promise you've broken or kept, every act of bitterness or forgiveness has been logged in your soul's ledger. The cosmos has never been asleep. You may not have seen the scales moving, but they have been moving constantly. And on certain sacred days, the scales tip, not because the universe is punishing, but because balance must be restored. What you embody, you experience. What you permit, you become. What you prepare for, you are given the grace to withstand. Preparation is not a one-time act, it is a way of being. The souls who are spiritually powerful on July 7 will not be those who have a sudden epiphany that morning. They will be the ones who have walked the long, often lonely road of inner alchemy. They are the ones who have mastered their thoughts when no one was applauding, who chose compassion when the world rewarded cruelty, who held on to their own light when darkness was the easy choice. These are the souls who prepared not out of fear, but out of knowing. They knew that when the ground shakes, you must already know how to stand. You cannot be learning to balance while the earthquake is happening. Your feet must already be rooted in something unshakable. And how do you prepare? Not by accumulating more, but by becoming more. Not by building thicker walls around your life, but by strengthening your inner core. So many are chasing the same things. They collect money, followers, status, experiences. But what is the true worth of these things? When the very frequency of the planet shifts upward, what will you do with your collection of trophies if your own spirit is too dense to rise? You cannot cheat spiritual gravity. When the earth ascends, only those whose hearts are light will ascend with it. You must let go of the poison of resentment, of the weight of blame, of the infection of unhealed wounds. This is the real work. This is the purification. Because when the energetic veil thins, and it will, everything that was hidden will be made plain. You cannot fake peace. You cannot fake integrity. You cannot fake alignment. On that day, your energetic signature will be your only credential. The world will react. It is programmed to. It reacts to fear. It reacts to scarcity. It reacts to power. But the soul does not react. The soul attunes. The soul understands that divine timing is not governed by a clock, but by resonance. When the universe signals that everything changes, it is not referring to your calendar. It is referring to your soul's readiness. There are seasons of your life you do not choose. They choose you. And this season that is approaching is not a season of wishing, it is a season of being. It is not for the mind that hopes, it is for the soul that has done the work. You must ask yourself, am I still negotiating with my own evolution? Am I still looking for loopholes in spiritual law? Am I still arguing with the truth in my own heart? The time for debate is over, the time for embodiment is now. This preparation is unique to each person. For one, it will be finally choosing silence over the constant noise of distraction. For another, it will be facing a trauma they have spent a lifetime avoiding. For some, it means severing ties with people and situations that are a constant drain on their life force. For others, it is the radical act of forgiving what they swore they never would. These are not minor adjustments, they are internal revolutions. These are the very actions that construct an inner reality that does not crumble when the outer world shakes, and it will shake, not to punish you, not to defeat you, but to reveal you. Because all that is hidden must come to light, and when that great revealing happens, you will see two kinds of people, those who are shattered by the truth, and those who have made truth their foundation. When a bulb is planted in the earth, it does not complain about the darkness, it trusts the process of its own becoming. It does not fight the soil, it uses the darkness, knowing that the light is its destiny. In the same way, your own preparation has likely been happening in quiet, unseen ways. Perhaps you couldn't explain why you felt a growing detachment from worldly drama. Perhaps your desires have been changing. Maybe you've lost the taste for meaningless talk. Maybe you felt a pull toward solitude, nature, and silence. This is not you being anti-social, this is you being aligned. This is the deepest part of your being responding to the coming shift. It is as if your soul is already getting its house in order for a momentous event your mind cannot yet comprehend. That is a sacred sign. Let your soul take the lead, your mind will catch up. Many will attempt a last-minute cram session for the soul. They will scramble to meditate, to be kind, to find peace. But you cannot fast-track your own evolution. You cannot force an awakening. You cannot fake a state of grace. These things are forged in the fires of time and choice. And if you have already begun this work, even if you feel imperfect and far from your goal, know this: you are already ahead of the curve. Keep going, keep choosing. Because the energy of the new reality cannot be held by a consciousness that refuses to grow. The coming shift is not interested in the identity you have curated for the world. It is only interested in the truth of who you are. And that truth is either sovereign or it is suppressed. Your preparation is the act of its liberation. Every true craftsman owns his tools long before the work begins, not from anxiety, but from respect for his craft. The spiritual artisan does not wait for a crisis to get serious. They are always tending to their inner state, not because they expect disaster, but because inner harmony is the prize itself. On July 7, the balance of your inner strength and inner peace will be tested. Those with no inner peace will be consumed by the chaos. Those with no inner strength will be shattered by the intensity. And so you must train now. Train your mind to hold its center. Train your heart to respond with wisdom. Train your body to be a clear vessel for your spirit. Train your soul to trust what it knows beyond all doubt. Release the illusion that you have unlimited time. Time is a construct, but the present moment is your point of power, and in this present moment, all true work is done. Your future is not waiting for your wishes, it is waiting for your work. You are not required to be perfect, you are only required to be present. And from that presence, you must build the habits that fortify your spirit, build the boundaries that protect your energy, build the inner sanctuary that awakens your soul. These are the unshakable pillars of the reality you will inhabit when everything else begins to sway. And what of those who dismiss the signal? What of those who laugh at the notion, who insist, it's just another day, nothing ever really changes? They are the ones who will experience the greatest shock. Not because they were not warned, but because their arrogance was a shield against the truth. Denial is not a fortress, it is a cage. And when the truth arrives, it does not ask for permission to enter, it simply is. If you have trained, you will recognize it as a liberator. If you have not, you will experience it as a destroyer. This is not a judgment from the divine, it is the natural consequence of your own resistance. So prepare not with fear but with love. Prepare not because the world is ending, but because a new world is being born. Prepare not for the world's approval, but for your soul's graduation. There is a grace that meets you when you are truly ready. There is a power that flows through you when you are aligned. There is a peace that becomes you when you surrender to the process. And this peace is not found in the headlines, it is forged in your practice, in your breath, in your integrity, in your silence. Do not look to the external world for your security. Security is not a place, it is a state of being. It is in how you navigate turbulence. It is in the kindness you show when no one is there to reward you. It is in the choices you make when it would be so much easier to stay asleep. Every choice you make today is a vote for the reality you will experience tomorrow. Every moment you choose discipline is a preparation for a moment of grace. Every time you say no to what depletes you, you are saying a profound yes to what completes you. There are two ways to meet the moment of July 70: in a state of shock or in a state of recognition. The first is the path of confusion. The second is the path of clarity. And clarity does not come from knowing the future, it comes from inhabiting the present. The energy of that day is already on its way. The current is quickening. You may not see it on the news, but your soul can feel it in the air. Honor that feeling. Do not suppress it. Do not run from it. Let it guide you to your inner work. Let it draw you more deeply into your own truth. Let it be the sacred reminder what you do in the quiet of your own being is never lost. It is compounding. It is accumulating. It is becoming your salvation. And when the world finally feels the tremor, you will stand firm, not because you were lucky, but because you were not waiting for the world to tell you what was real. You were already standing in it. You were not reacting to the change, you were the change. You were not looking for a sanctuary, you were the sanctuary. There is a profound error in modern thinking about how real change occurs. Many believe that wanting something is enough, that if you declare it, visualize it, and affirm it, the universe is somehow obligated to deliver. But sacred law doesn't respond to your wants, it responds to your being. Energy doesn't follow your intentions, it follows your identity. When the universe signaled that on July 7, 2025, the energetic laws would become undeniable, it was not a message for those who hope, it was a signal for those who have become, in their thoughts, their words, and their daily, unseen actions. The great illusion is to mistake a clear wish for a prepared vessel. But the universe, the divine intelligence, God, it doesn't listen to the words you speak, it reads the vibration you emit. You can pray for peace while your inner world is at war. You can ask for abundance while your frequency is one of lack. You can demand transformation while refusing to change. This is the fundamental disconnect. This is why the divine signal is only ever received by those whose entire life, their habits, their inner dialogue, their secret choices, has been tuned to the singular frequency of truth. That frequency is not achieved by thinking about it, it is achieved by living it. Alignment is not a performance, it is not an identity you wear. It is not about the crystals you own or the spiritual jargon you use. True alignment is invisible to the judging eye, but is the loudest thing in the universe to energy itself. You cannot lie to energy. You cannot negotiate with resonance. You either vibrate in harmony with truth, or you don't. And when that energetic gateway opens on July 7 to 25, it will not amplify what you hope to be, it will only magnify what you have actually become. That is the ultimate spiritual law. Energy magnifies being, not intention. Your energetic state is the only key you will have. The quality of your consciousness will be the only currency that matters. This is why the work is not about talking more about spirituality, it's about becoming a living embodiment of it. If you claim to want peace but consistently choose drama, your being is out of tune. If you say you are ready for more light but you live in resentment, your being is out of tune. If you call yourself a healer but you engage in gossip, judgment, and envy, your being is out of tune. These are not minor character flaws, they are fractures in your spiritual integrity. And when a flood of divine energy pours onto the planet, it seeks out coherence, it amplifies wholeness, it elevates those who are honest, not flawless but relentlessly honest with themselves. The world may celebrate the loudest and the most ambitious, but the universe elevates the sincere, the aligned, and the quietly consistent. There is a sacred mathematics to this: your thoughts plus your words plus your actions equals your vibration. If your thoughts say, "I am worthy," but your words are full of self-deprecation and your actions are born of fear, your vibration is one of contradiction. If your thoughts say, "I am ready for the new," but your words complain about the present and your actions cling to the old, your vibration is one of resistance. And no matter how many times you perform your rituals, if your being is fragmented, your energy cannot and will not harmonize with the coming shift. An energy that does not match the new current gets left in the past. The planet is not simply undergoing a political or social change, it is undergoing a vibrational ascension. The shifts on the horizon are not designed to benefit the most cunning, they will benefit the most coherent. This is why so many who appear to be successful and prepared on the outside will be shaken to their core, while those who have been quietly doing the thankless work of purifying their own hearts will rise with an unexplainable grace. There is a velocity to divine energy that only a still being can handle. There is a frequency so pure that only a humble spirit can attune to it. And on July 7, when that frequency is amplified, your level of alignment will not be something you can manage or hide, it will simply be revealed. For many, this will feel like an intense pressure and exposure, because when the vibration of truth rises, everything built on a lie is forced into the light. This is the great test, and it is not graded on your performance but on your purity. It will not ask, "How many spiritual books did you read?" It will ask, "Did you live the wisdom you found?" It will not ask, "How many people followed you?" It will ask, "How many times did you follow the truth when it was inconvenient?" It will not ask, "How influential was your voice?" It will ask, "How quiet was your soul?" Alignment is a silent power, but its effects will be world-changing. There are three pillars that forge true alignment: integrity, discipline, and surrender. Integrity means your actions match your deepest truth, even when it's difficult. You say no to things that feel wrong in your soul, even if they look right to the world. You honor the promises you make to yourself. Discipline means you consistently choose your higher self over your lower impulses. You choose to breathe through anger instead of becoming it. You train your focus, your emotions, and your energy as a daily practice. And surrender means you release the illusion of control, not from a place of defeat, but from a place of profound trust. You stop trying to force life to fit your timeline. You align with the divine current and move with it. Even when your rational mind cannot understand the direction, most people try to muscle their way through life. They try to hustle their way to a higher state of being. But force creates resistance, flow creates power. You must learn to become an open channel through which divine energy can move without obstruction. You must clear the blockages: the ego's pride, the heart's fear, the mind's resentments, the spirit's impatience. These things create energetic dams within you. And when the frequency of the world shifts, a constricted energy system will overload. But when you are in alignment, you become like a perfectly crafted instrument, empty of self-importance, pure in your tone, and ready to be played by the music of the spheres. There is a sacred calendar unfolding, and just as a flower blooms in its designated season, so too does the human soul. But you cannot force your own blooming, you can only tend to your roots. Your roots are your discipline, your roots are your silence. Your roots are the choices you make in the moments no one else sees. What you do when you are alone with yourself determines your readiness for when you are seen by all. And on July 7, the light will not just illuminate the world, it will either shine through you or it will expose you. There will be no neutral ground. Energy does not compromise with half-truth. It either flows through a clear vessel or is blocked by a distorted one. That is why this moment, this breath is your temple, not tomorrow, not when you have more time. Now, because the law is absolute, you will rise to the level of your being, not your wanting. You will receive in proportion to your preparation, not your prayers. And you will be tested not on what you profess, but on who you have become. You must ask yourself this: have I become the kind of person who is a match for the next level of truth, of light, of responsibility? Or am I still waiting for the world to change while I refuse to? You are not waiting for the energy is waiting for you. The divine river has always been flowing. The only question is, are you a worthy vessel? Or are you still full of holes, leaking your divine power through unconscious habits, a scattered mind, and a reactive heart? Your capacity to hold energy is the definition of spiritual maturity. And maturity has nothing to do with age, it has to do with awareness, with self-accountability, with choosing growth over comfort, again and again, especially when it is hard. On July 7, the divine heartbeat of the planet will quicken. Some will rise because their inner structure can handle the new rhythm. Others will crumble because their foundation was made of sand. You must build your inner world now, not with ideas, but with actions, not with theories, but with choices. You must clean the lens of your perception. You must fortify the walls of your heart. You must open the gates of your soul to allow the divine to enter. Because energy, sacred, real, and powerful, does not enter a space of chaos, it enters a space of order. Not the order of rigid control, but the sacred order of alignment. This alignment demands a radical, loving honesty. You must look at your own life and ask, where am I out of tune with my own soul? Where am I still performing? Where am I still choosing the comfortable lie over the liberating truth? The answers may sting, but they are the medicine that will heal you. You cannot align with a truth you refuse to see. You cannot heal a wound you pretend does not exist. But when you do, when you face yourself with courage and love yourself enough to do the work, the universe rearranges itself around you. Not because it is rewarding you, but because you have finally become resonant with its song. And this is the final truth. Alignment is not a destination you arrive at, it is a state you return to, moment by moment. Every breath is a chance to return, every choice is an opportunity to retune the instrument of your being, and like a sacred instrument, you do not tune it once and then expect it to hold its note forever. You must tune it daily with loving care, with focused attention, with profound awareness. Because the music of your life depends entirely on your tuning. When the sacred day comes, the world will not transform you, it will reveal you. The influx of energy will not create your reality, it will magnify it. And so, the most sacred work you can do is not to hope, not to worry, but to align. Not in theory, but in practice. Not for an audience, but for your soul. Not to impress the world, but to express the divine. Not out of fear of what is to come, but out of reverence for the power of now. Because in the end, it will not be your opinions that see you through the shift. It will be your presence, it will be your silence, it will be your alignment.